email.
Yeah, yep. That was weird.
Yes.
So you even scoured the whole people. I didn't see anything, so, yeah, I don't know, they haven't announced.
Okay. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Start with pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Hawker.
Here.
Brady.
Here.
Easy.
Here.
Gilbertson.
Here.
Can we approve the agenda with the addition under ditch board, set final or set annual meeting date?
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, motion passes. Any conflict of interest declarations? Hearing none, approved minutes of the January 6th meeting. So moved. Second. A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, motion passes. Are there any visitors to the hearing? Hearing none. Andy, we got a contract with GF&P.
That's just follow up, sometime back, we talked about, them wanting to rent some office space and some boat storage from us and. It took some time, but we got a contract we all agreed on, Mike has reviewed it, we previously agreed on boat storage, which is a separate contract, and that boat's here, so now we'd be. Letting their officer use one of the offices we have in the deputies squadron. I assume you have it in your packet. They want that signed electronically if they could.
Signed electronically?
Yeah.
Okay.
I moved authorized signature on the GFB office space contract.
Second. A motion and a second. Any further discussion? And I didn't look. Oh, it's a 3-year term. Okay.
3 years, yeah, it's set for $300 a month. And that's in addition to 200 a month for the boat storage.
Okay. Any other further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, motion passes. And we've got the Moody County inmate contract.
Yeah, I just reached out to them. They don't have a jail. They tend to house in Minnehaha County. I know sometimes space is an issue, so I reached out to them and offered space here. If they can use this, we worked out the rate being our standard rate set by you earlier this month at $95 a day. So we would be available to them if they had to make send our way. And then otherwise, the agreement's the same as we have for all the other counties.
Moved authorized signature on the Moody County contract.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, motion passes. Anything else? Andy?
No.
Okay.
Is that all the contracts that you've considered, like likely ones in the area? Do we have them lined up with everybody yet?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm still kind of talking to more sheriffs, but we're still working with the marshals. That's just a little bit more cumbersome to work out with federal agencies, so. Making sure that we got agreements with anybody that might house with us. We've got plenty of agreements with counties for us to house there, but we don't need that.
Yeah,
We're working on those, but we do have a contract with Union. Turner, Lincoln County now to house here as well as now Logan County.
what, would you mind running through the list real quick? We have one with Yankton too,
Well, we have one to house our inmates there if, we needed to.
but not vice versa.
Not vice versa, and I don't see that as something, I don't think Yankton's ever housed an inmate with us.
And then was there like way up like Bonham or Hutchinson or something? I thought there was one that's kind of farther up there.
We don't have an agreement with them.
Maybe not.
Davison County.
Davison, that's what I was thinking.
Us to house there again.
Okay, I got you. That's for us. Thank you.
I think the only reciprocal one we have is Union County.
Are there any Nebraska counties that have any interest?
No, I don't know that they would come here. They tend to go. So we've housed in Nebraska, Thurston County, picks up a lot of the small counties around south of us. So I don't know if they would bring any this way. I can definitely reach out to them about.
Yeah, just see what's out there, making use of the beds that we have is hopefully a good idea.
Sure.
Quarterly report time again. I believe hopefully was in your packet. So if you got any questions.
Every month.
What's that?
Seems like these come every month.
It's every three, but it does seem faster. than it does.
Nothing's changed. I mean, it's still.
No.
Just need to. Motion to authorize the sign.
Move to authorize the sign.
Second. A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign, motion passes. Do you have anything else, Lynn, or?
Nope, you check unless you got something for me.
Carrie, we've got a combined election agreement with the city
Yep.
and school district.
And Lane, you can have that signature page, it's ready, so. We typically do combine with the city and the Vermillion School District for elections. Last year, the law changed so that they have to have their election on the same day as ours. So really with the bulk of our population, our voters being in Vermillion, it just makes sense. They help, shoulder some of the costs, but yet it saves everybody money. Because we don't have to have double the poll workers, double the supplies, all the things, so.
I think another benefit is it clarifies things for people. I think that if people just have the expectation that things are run through the county, then there aren't these kind of little surprise elections happening in offices and other places and stuff.
Yeah, and it's all on one ballot, so it makes it easier for the voter, get better turnout for those smaller elections that way too.
So I moved to authorize signature on the combined election agreement with the school district and city of Vermillion.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign, motion passes. Brent, we've got payment application number 1 for stream bank stabilization. Project 1425120.
Yes, for 309. So far, they're doing a pretty good job. Looks like they got all the dirt work and everything done. Just gotta rip wrap it and then, just add an extension for the culvert and a flop gate on there, then that project should be done. Then so we get everything getting reimbursed from there in that NCRS.
And this is for 58,121.41.
I move to approve payment.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, motion passes. Then we've got a propane quote.
Southeast Farms Co-op came in lowest at 130.
Move to approve the low bid. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All same sign, motion passes. Surplus declaration of old iron, aluminum and bridge planks, and appointment of appraisal individuals if necessary for SDCL. So let's just start with the surplus and then we'll figure out the other part.
I move to approve the surplus.
Second. A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, motion passes. Remind us again.
So if it's, is it 613.1 kind of governs disposition of surplus property, and it does say that no motion is required to sell, trade, loan, destroy, or otherwise dispose of consumable supplies. So we're not destroying necessarily. I'm assuming this is going to be scrapped.
Yeah, we'll just, all goes yanked into that metal.
What's the rough, do you have any idea right now off the top of your head what the valuation of the items are?
Couldn't tell you, it just goes by weight, whatever the market is and what they're selling for, or giving you for the weight at that time for metal and aluminum.
What's the bridge points do you?
So,
The bridge plank are usually, what Rod has done in past is just, if somebody was interested in buying some bridge plank, it was $1 a foot. And then he has put some on the auction for Drudge. And I don't know if Drudge is having an auction this year or not, so.
They're a nice material. I know there's a lot of
Yeah.
cool things used for it.
You
so let's break it down with the scrap iron and the aluminum. How many, on the scrap iron, I think you got 5, 10 ton?
know, it'd be somewhere, it's just got that little bin there, it's just, once we get that bin filled up, we just bring it over to Yankton and drop it off. Get rid of it.
So what is it, Michael? What's the dollar amount?
It's anything over $2,500.
Everything we brought over there, it's never been that much.
Okay, so long as you are confident, well, you should still have, the appraisal should still occur. Find that you believe it's under $2,500, if that's the case. If you believe it's under $2,500, then you can move forward. I think generally you can do a private sale then. State law permits a private sale if it's under $2,500. Otherwise, if the appraisal shows over $2,500, we would need to go back to the Crown Court and do sealed bids or public auction. But I do think I think just as a standard practice, we should be appointing 3 people and just having that documented and filed with Carrie.
So is it scrap iron or scrap aluminum and bridge planks combined at 2,500?
No, this is individual properties. I mean, you could break
Okay.
it down into each individual property that you've surplused. Each item would, or category of item, I think would probably be the fairest way to do this. And that's what Andy had, a handful of lights, right? Was one, but you guys put them all in one. You categorize them not as an individual light, but as the group of lights that you had to surplus. So I think you could do that here as well. I think the bridge plank is probably,
Well, that seems simple. It's $1 a foot. So as long as we don't have more than 2,500 feet.
so you'd still need 3 individuals to sit on the appraisal board. I have a form that Andy has that I can send to Brent now as well. That this board just needs to appoint 3 individuals, 3 property owners to do this appraisal. They need to sit down for 5 minutes or however long it takes them, determine which items that have been surplused, write them all down, and then just value them. And if it's under $2,500, they can pursue the private sale. Otherwise, if it's over $2,500, then you'd either do the sealed bids or the auction.
I think steel, I took some last fall, I think it was like 85 a ton. So
That was for good
We're gonna
clean
have-
stuff, probably.
Huh?
That was probably for good clean stuff to where. ours is
It's
just
that-
all-
It's actually higher. It was 140 a month ago.
that's for the prepared.
Oh, prepared, okay.
What I took wasn't prepared, so
Yeah, like most of the metal we got, right now is just basically just old wedge posts and, or fence or signposts and everything like that, just junk and just.
Yep.
And then the signs, aluminum is just signs that are all shot up and tore up and stuff.
So the only caveat to the private sale is you have to sell it at not less than 90% of the appraised value. It sounds to me that there's a market understanding, so it seems like at least here, the calculation should be pretty simple. If you have an understanding of what the weight is as well as what you're gonna get for it. It should be a fairly simple evaluation, much like we just had with the previous property. I think naming which items there are today, very detailed, just, sounds like it's 3 different categories of materials, is that right?
Yep.
and then appointing 3 individuals, property owners, having them sit down, value those 3 individual categories of items, and then file that document with Carrie, and then I can ensure that they go about doing the private sale if it's under $2,500. Otherwise, if it's over, Carrie and I'll ensure that notice is given on the moving forward. It doesn't sound like that's where we're at.
So as far as appointing those 3 board members or 3 members. And this is just me thinking, can we appoint 4? But you only have to have 3, correct?
It says 3, so I think state law says 3 individuals, I don't think you can appoint 4, it says, it doesn't say at least 3, it says appoint 3, so you need 3.
Okay. And the only reason I asked is I was gonna make Andy and Brett and like 2 commissioners. Because those 2 seem to be the ones surplusing.
Right,
So if it was something Andy had,
Yeah.
he'd be on the board. If it was something Brent had, he'd be there.
right,
The other commissioners, but
yeah,
if we can't.
no, it's here, it just says you have to have 3, it doesn't say at least 3, so you have to do 3.
So what happens in the event? If you said that if it doesn't auction for 90% of the appraised value, it doesn't auction for 90%. Do we
That's only
don't sale it?
That's at a private sale. So that's only if you go to a private sale. If it's under
Right.
$2,500, you can do a private sale, but it has to be at least 90% of the appraised
give our buddy
value.
a great
Yeah,
deal.
you can't sell it at
Okay,
10% or 20%.
but if it goes to a Gerard auction, it can't.
Then whatever happens there happens there.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Okay, so like the scrap iron. What if they're off on the weight? Because they're not gonna know what it's gonna weigh.
Right, well, I think that's where, on there it lists qualifications. I think you give the best understanding of the weight as you can based off of your, previous dealings with iron. I mean, I think that's where you can say, I have experience doing this. This appears to be this weight. If you get there and you're wrong, as long as you're given a fair, a good faith effort, then I don't think that there's, any issue with that. I think you just need to appoint people who have an understanding of how to appraise this to the best of their ability. You can be generous with it and be like, well, when the heaviest this thing's ever been when it's full is so and so much, so we know that's the max or something.
You have like a roll off or?
Now we just got an old bin that somebody made back in the day where you got a little lever and the bottom opens up and just dumps in the back of the truck.
Oh, so for steel, you'd need a side dump trailer to get to that dollar amount, I think.
Yeah, sure. So-
Yeah, you'd need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
830 ton.
Right.
So what are there's 3 different materials. One is bridge planks, is that right? You've got aluminum,
And metal.
metal, just
Steel.
steel. So I think you'd want to surplus those 3 items, if that's what the request is here.
And we
Find
did.
those 3 items, and then appoint the 3 individuals, let them do their work, and it sounds as if we believe there should be no further. There shouldn't be. I think what you would say then, if this body wants to move forward allowing a private sale, I think you could appoint the 3 individuals and find that if the appraised value is under $2,500 for each item, that they're free to pursue private sale instead of sealed bids or an auction.
And we can
they
appoint-
take care of it.
Every time we do this, right?
Yeah, I mean, unless we just establish some sort of 3-person committee on a full-time basis, but because you're really looking at different qualifications, it seems wise to just appoint 3 individuals that are best situated to make such appraisal on each, on each instance. So, here it looks like you probably appoint different individuals than you did last time. You want to do it, Glenn? You sold some metal last year?
Well, I'm closest to the county shop, so.
How about that?
And put Brent on there and who wants to be the 3rd?
Andy.
No, I'll do that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
All right, I'll nominate Travis, Glenn, and Brent to be on the appraisals.
I wouldn't mind doing it, but I might want to buy some bridge plank.
That's good, good. Nice efforts there.
Well, that doesn't exclude us from buying, does it?
Let me double check. There is a, generally speaking, you can't, but there's a caveat to it. It's 1 minute. 613.7 is the,
Or no, we can't buy surplus property.
so no governing board member.
Yeah, you can.
Is that
Stupid, but you can.
acting as an appraiser may purchase. So no governing board member, any officer of the county, that's you, may, or real property owner acting as an appraiser may purchase the surplus property except public auction. I believe that there's a little confusion as to what that statute is saying, but I believe it's saying you can't, but I can double check that and let you know. It's either saying that if you act as an appraisal and you're an appraiser and you're in those positions, you can't, or just that you can't.
Well, we can't buy, if the county takes a tax deed property, we can't bid on it either.
Right. I don't think you can either, even reading the statute. I think you're excluded from it unless it's at a public auction.
Even public auction, we can't buy it.
Okay, well, there's a caveat here that allows surplus property, at least in this circumstance.
Maybe it's the surplus property, but
Right,
tax deed, we can't.
it'd have to be a public auction. That makes some sense. I mean, tax deeding's a little bit more.
We made the decision to take it,
Exactly, to take some of the stuff, yeah.
kind of. Okay, so I have a motion that Glenn, myself, and Brent are the appraisers on these three items. Second. A motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, motion passes.
And then before you move on, you should also then, if you're inclined, make a motion that if it appraises under $2,500, that they're free to move forward with a private sale. So that this doesn't have to come back to this body for determination of what to do after the appraisal.
Okay.
So I moved that if the appraisers determine that the value of each of these categories is less than $2,500 each, that those can be sold at a private sale.
Second. I have a motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, motion passes.
And I have just sent the three of you the appraisal form that we used previously. Complete it, you have to sign it, fill out what the dollar amount is for each item, file it with Carrie.
Sounds good. Annual materials bid specification approval and set opening date.
I still gotta put that in the paper for a couple weeks, then. I don't know if the February 17th would work for
Carrie says yes.
That's plenty of time.
20 time. Okay.
Yeah.
We do 9:15 bid opening?
Sure.
Or are we not setting times anymore?
I've just been putting 9 o'clock because that's when
Okay.
everything starts. So.
I'll entertain a motion to set that opening bid date. February 17th.
I'll make a motion that we set opening bid date for February 17th for the annual material bid specification.
Second. A motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, motion passes. I'll entertain a motion to go into ditch board.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, motion passes. We're in ditch board, all take invoice for Clay Creek ditch in the amount of $5,931.25.
Move to pay the bid invoice.
Seconds. I have a motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, motion passes. Do I not have? I not have that one, Carrie?
The invoice?
Yeah, for the $5,900.
Yeah, there's nothing to sign for it, so
Well,
you're
there
good for
isn't.
that one. No.
Okay. Then we've got a final change order for Clay Creek ditch clean out project. And that is in the amount of $41,042.
40.
I've got two different amounts here. Original, okay.
Original's
contract.
41, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's.
Yep.
Okay. Going from 41,042 to $40,042.
I move to approve the
This is the change order.
change order.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passes. Now we've got the final payment application of $40,042.
And I move to authorize that payment.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, motion passes.
So like to say, Weeman's been treating us well, like it, coming in, 1,000 didn't do work they didn't need to do, and he had a bid recently that it's real fair one. Thanks, Weeman.
And then we've got set the annual meeting date. It's either gonna be the 17th or the 24th of February. What works for everybody?
17th or 24th is what you had?
We're gonna do it at 1 o'clock?
Yeah.
I just will do it on the 17th, the same day of the meeting. Get them both open.
That's fine. I mean, no, my only concern is as long as we can get it out, the notification out.
I think we should be able to. Yeah.
Move to set February 17th at 1 p.m. Give it that paragraph.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Gary, you're gonna contact Kate and then.
Yep.
Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, motion passes. Entertain a motion to come out of ditch board. So move.
Second.
A motion and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, we're in regular session. Approve accounts payable vouchers. Everybody get to see those?
Yeah, I didn't have any questions, so I moved to pay the vouchers.
Second. A motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passes. Informational items, Clay County awarded an additional court security grant from the state of South Dakota. Is that in the amount of, does it say?
It didn't say.
More news to come.
It talks about there being
It's
a match, so it's just, I think, so some of what we're putting in is gonna be matched and we'll get a little bit back, that's great.
Yeah, I know, at one
75%.
point Scott had talked about applying for some additional, so.
Surveillance stuff seemed to be associated, but there's no. Scott did all the grant writing, but my understanding, and Glenn, correct me, or Andy, you guys are both part of this, it's really gonna be to put in a more advanced system. I think around the exterior doors and maybe some of the interior doors of the courthouse and public safety, well, the old public safety center. That is just gonna allow access to get in and out of those, specifically the exterior, not with a traditional key, but with like a key, like a fob to get in and out. It'll keep logs of who's coming in and going. And then if we ever have an incident where an employee leaves, then we don't have to go hunt down a key. We can just turn off that fob if they don't return it. So I think that's at least some of it, I think that's most of the bulk of what this additional request was for. It's just to kind of, add more security measures inside the courthouse and inside the old public safety center as we start to think about reopening it. Is the root of these funds, is it COVID monies?
Legislature set aside.
Just legislative, okay, because I just saw something about there's
It's
like.
not going grant, it's court security. Yeah, statewide court security committee, I'm on the committee.
All right.
And they, and so, it's been a few years now, I want to say a couple of years, a little bit, been a little while. They, legislature set aside a few $1 million a year for court security.
Yes, I said I have it before COVID.
What's that?
I was thinking we started on our court security. Yeah.
It's been a long time thing,
Court security is what spurred this, actually.
yeah, it historically, it went back, 20 plus years, there would be maybe $10,000 a year available for court security, and we've been a recipient almost every year. That's how we got the metal detector on the 3rd floor of the courthouse. We put ballistic material in the judge's bench, just a lot of different things we've done in the past. It's not a ballistic screen, but a plexiglass screen in the clerk's office. Those are examples of small projects we've done. Then several years ago, we had Supreme Court formed a statewide court security committee. I got put on it, and then and we did a statewide security study, decided where the issues are, and decided there's gonna need to be funding to actually make an impact on this, because just about every county had these issues. And legislature appropriated funds for it. You know, so far they have kept it funded. And so there's a grant committee, a grant subcommittee to that court security committee that considers these applications. So with this project going on at the current courthouse, and Scott put in an application, you know, Judge Byrne helped him, you know, with that, because the judges in the circuit have to be a part of it. So we got approved under that.
75, pretty standard, 75% match, pretty standard.
Yeah, I think that's the deal.
Thank you for that context.
Everybody can see the department monthly reports. Yep, and then that's the end. If nobody has anything else? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Second. I have a motion in a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Well done, everything.
That's awesome.
That's a lot more. Well, yeah, I mean, I think that part of it is if we've read it all ahead of time, then we should be able to move through.
I think we've already agreed to do this, haven't we?
Yeah. Honestly, that's part of the reason why I'm always pushing on, you know, seeing if we can get packets out there, because then we just fly through this stuff.
Yeah.
You want to read more about it? We'll read more about it.